secure. You don't know what is Allah plan, right? Quran 7:99. People's hearts are always turning over and changing, for their hearts are between two of the fingers of Ar-Rahman, Allah the merciful, the all-merciful, who turns them over as he wills. And the trials which are sent against people's hearts are many. The believers is always careful lest there come to him something which will lead him astray. So he always careful of what he does, right? Or like an imam or a king or what he's in charge of, right? He always careful, right? Lest there come to him something which will lead him astray, just as he always fears that his final action may be bad. Now, we as Muslims, we have to beg Allah that when we're going to leave this life, the last action must be an action hasana, right? And when they say before you die with khuluq, with hasan, amal hasan, right? You die with a good action. If you don't die with a good action, there is a bad sign for you going forward, right? So we try to fight, to beg Allah to die, to allow us to die with a good deed, right? So we fear that our final action to be bad. Now this does not make him lazy, right? Rather it motivates him to strive persistently to follow the straight path, deeds, and to avoid sins and punishable deeds. And the disbeliever's heart is always attached to its creator, calling upon him, putting its hope in him, seeking his help, and asking him to make it adhere firmly to the straight path and to be guided aright. I pray that we understand all of these things. This is the third one in relation to the third benefit that one who believes in Qadar, right, that he will benefit from. And the last one is facing difficulties and danger with a strong heart. Facing difficulties and dangers with a strong heart. You're facing difficulties and danger, but you have a strong heart. When a person believes that everything that happens is decreed, when we believe that everything that happens is decreed, and that provision and lifespan are in the hands of Allah. You see? Everything happen is decreed, right? But why is it decreed? Allah decreed it. Why he willed it? Because again of his previous knowledge, right? He willed something and he decreed it, and it happening, right? So we had to believe in that. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know why he decreed it, because of his knowledge before, his prior knowledge. So we have to take that into consideration, right? And that provision, whatever that we have, right, it's from Allah too. No matter how much brain we have and how much we plan, right, is Allah had to give us that wealth or that provision, otherwise we could never get it. And anytime Allah wants to take it back, he could take it back. But it's not about the provision, it's about obeying Allah's law. It's not about the provision, right? How much he gave or how much he gave. All the big kings before, Pharaoh and Qarun and Nimrod and all of them, right? Them on the earth, right? They feel like they was Lord because Allah gave them the riches. And they forget about Allah now. That they think Pharaoh asked Musa alayhi salam, which Lord you telling me about? The only God I know is myself. And that because of wealth and control of the Bani Israel and have people working under them like that, slavery, right? He figured that he lost about there is a supreme being. He lost that all these things what he have is the supreme being give him it and he testing him. You see? So we had, as believers, we had to know that, yeah, we may strive. But still, a lot of people, they strive and they don't get, Allah do give them. And some people, again, don't strive much and they're getting plenty. More than what who's striving. But all of that is test. And all of that Allah gives whom he wishes. But it's a test for you as he gives Nimrod and Korah, Karun and Pharaoh. You see? So when Allah give his bounty to certain people, we mustn't say, well, why Allah give them and he didn't give we, because the kind of destruction they might go through with that, and the kind of test they might get, and the kind of account that they might have to give. Where's Pharaoh's position in the hereafter? That we have to believe, facing difficulties with dangers and a strong heart. When a person believes that everything that happens is decreed, that is one, and that provision, right, and lifespan are in the hands of Allah. Provision is in the hands of Allah, and lifespan too. Which one of us here could assure ourselves, right, that we could live for so much and so much a years? Even the doctors have to die too, and we go to them. We go to them as a means. That's why when the doctor say, try this and come back 2 weeks, we have to beg Allah, Ya Allah, you create me. You create my heart. You create this. You create that. You're the only one to cure this. You have to go by the doctor. That is Ax Bilas Bab. You have to take the means. But don't believe it's the doctor cure you. You see? Because you have to beg Allah to guide the doctor to do the correct thing. But you have to beg Allah to cure you. Right? He's the one that to cure you. You might do business and so forth and so forth. You might have partners doing it too and so forth and so forth. But you have to beg Allah. Because you have to know that provision is in the hands of Allah only and no one else. And lifespan is in the hands of Allah too and no one else. That is why then he can confront difficulties. When he have this knowledge, he can confront difficulties and ordeals with a strong heart and with his head held high, right? Because he knows he praying to Allah, he knows he put his trust in Allah, he have all of this belief that this come from Allah and nothing else, right? And so forth, and he have this belief Allah could take it anytime, he could give him how much he wished to give him, and so forth. So he confronting his difficulties with a strong heart. Why? Because he just trying to do what Allah said to do, and he know when he obey Allah, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Wala yudiu ajrul muhsinin, that he will never keep back the reward of the muhsinin who make effort, right, to obey his law. This belief was one of the greatest motives which spurred the mujahideen, warriors in the way of Allah, to act of courage on the battlefield without feeling scared. Right? Imagine they go in the battlefield and they go with an intention, hey, my life is in the hands of the Creator, Allah. So I go in the battlefield for Allah, right? And I go in brave. Because why? This is a command of Allah. Allah say, right, go to the battlefield, right? Some people come around your house, they want to take advantage on you. What you supposed to do as a believer? Let them take advantage? No. People coming around, so battle going to start. The Prophet fought plenty battles. They come and take advantage on you. You have to fight. Right? وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى تَقُولُوا كَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ الْعُلْيَا. And fight them if they come to fight you until the word of Allah come the highest. La ilaha illallah. Right? Because Allah is in charge. You innocent. They come to take advantage on you. And people used to go out in the battlefield to fight with that conviction. You understand? They go with that courage. Right? They never feel in the way of Allah to act of courage on the battlefield without feeling scared. Why? Because they know if they die as a shaheed. And they believe that a shaheed is what? A shaheed will get Jannah. So them going and trying to die in the battlefield. But look at the power of Allah. Yeah? Hear this one now. They would seek death wherever they could find it. They go in the battlefield to die. That was the intention. And they go in the battlefield brave because they know their lifespan is in the hands of Allah. Right? So they go there because they say the worst could happen to them is they go die. And if they die, they become a shaheed. And where's the reward of a shaheed? They bury you just like how you are, with the blood and whatever it is. They don't bathe you. You remain in that earth there. You never rot. And Yom Kiyama, you're coming back with that same, how you bury, with the blood flowing and so forth, and your reward is Jannatul Firdaus. So they believe in that. So they go on with that yaqeen, right, with that belief, and they're going to die. So they go on brave, right, because their lifespan is in the hands of Allah, but I have to do what Allah tell me to do, right, and I go out and I want to die, but I have to obey the commands of Allah, right? So without feeling scared, they would seek death wherever they could find it, throwing themselves into dangerous situation where they thought they would be killed, right? Then you would find one of them later on dying in his own bed of natural causes. Now look at the Qadar of Allah. Look at the destiny of Allah. They going with that near to die though, right? And still Allah destined they wouldn't die there, right? And one day